As a child, I was afraid of everything. I was cautious and reserved. If something might hurt me, there was no way in hell you could pressure me into trying it. Call me a pussy all you want. I was not ashamed to be afraid. I was afraid to be in pain. But caution doesn't always mean you're safe, and I learned this the hard way the summer I turned 5. You see, my mom volunteered for victim witness services of Madera County, and twice a week we would sleep at a safe house for victims so my mom could be on-site staff. I, being 5, had no idea that this was the case, and I just thought we got to live in a super cool house twice a week. Well, one day we pulled up to the house, and it was hosting a yard sale. I didn't understand. These were my toys. What the fuck? You can't just sell my toys without asking me. Didn't you just fucking teach me to ask permission before touching other stuff? Then why are you touching, let alone selling all my stuff? I threw a tantrum. My mom became exasperated and told me to head back to the car until it was time to go. I was so frustrated I ran across the street to our car without looking both ways first. And bam! I was hit straight on by an oncoming vehicle going very slowly. Still, my little body took the impact hard. And I don't remember much of this, but I do remember opening my eyes and looking up at a man I'd never seen before. He had kind, almond-shaped eyes and a huge mustache. He held me close and told me I was going to be okay. And he yelled for someone to call an ambulance. As I laid there with my head against his chest, I had a panic attack. Why would you call 911? I didn't want to do it again. The adults couldn't understand my fear of the ambulance until one finally realized I thought calling 911 meant I had to get hit by a car again on camera for the TV show Rescue 911. The minds of kids, man. Crazy. Anyway, I was fine. I didn't even have any broken bones. I only had road burn. The car was going way too slow for me to have any serious injuries. Thank God Central Californians always slowed down to rubberneck at a yard sale. If she hadn't been gawking at that yard junk, well, I guess I could be dead. The man whose arms I awoke in that day was in my thoughts a lot afterwards. I wondered who he was, why he was there. I asked my mom about him once, and she very passively told me his name was Richard, and he was one of the volunteers at the house we went to all of the time. I never saw him there when we returned, but I always hoped he'd just walk in. By that holiday season, I was feeling really confused about not having 2 parents. I had become more aware of it just being my mom and I. And all of this anger came out unexpectedly one evening while we were out choosing a tree to decorate. We had just made ornaments in class that day, one for our mom and one for our dad. Not having a dad, I was feeling overly sensitive all day. And the Santa Claus at the tree lot was stoned as fuck. He was skinny as hell, and his beard wasn't even trying to stay attached to his face. He bragged about supergluing antlers to his chihuahua's head, and not sensing the irony in his statement, said it would be too cruel to glue a red ball to his nose. Ugh, I was mortified. But my mom couldn't say no to the complimentary photo with Santa that came with the tree. So I sat down on the skinny Santa's bony lap. It was so uncomfortable. He asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I didn't look at him. I looked my mom dead in her eyes, and I said, I want a new daddy. And then started crying inconsolably. The dam burst, and this faux Santa did nothing to alleviate my anxiety. The funny thing about this story is that I got my wish. I didn't know this, but my mom had secretly been dating Richard. She didn't want to introduce him to me as her boyfriend until she knew it was serious, and after the holiday season, she finally did. The man whose arms comforted me when I got hit by that car was standing in my living room all those months later. He was like a superhero, standing tall with a big goofy smile. He brought me some pizza, and the 3 of us watched TGIF together. He let me talk, and gave me his full and complete attention. He gave me a hug as I went to bed, and the familiarity of those arms gave me a sense of calm I desperately needed. They were married a few months later, and we had one amazing holiday season together before he died unexpectedly at the age of 33. He was my dad for 9 months and 10 days before I lost him. However, those 9 months and 10 days changed the trajectory of my whole life, forever, and for the better. I guess the moral of this story is, even if Santa is a skinny stoner who superglued antlers to his dog's head, he somehow still delivers. I asked him for a new dad, and I got one. It may have only been for a brief period of time, but if that's not fucking magical, I don't know what is.